that took a lot of our time and thoughts of planning that. It all went well, and we took a honeymoon to Kauai, so that was fun. And other than that, it's just playing basketball and being with family. It was good to be with my family. I didn't feel like I really spent too much time with them after I came home last year, so it was a good few months to be there with my family.
More pressure to get married or to be at the free throw line with like 5 seconds to go?
Oh, I was as nervous as I've ever been in my life on my wedding day. I was a wreck, but it all went so good. So it turned out there's nothing to be nervous about, but it was awesome.
How do you balance marriage life and basketball?
Well, I mean, I spent a lot of time with my now wife, talking to her and stuff. Right now, it's just more convenient that she lives here and I have somebody to go home to and to talk to, and so it has been great. I'm sure it will be great for me to have somebody to always be there and another support system, and she's great, so it just makes my life 10 times better.
Will she like go to the gym and rebound for you and stuff like that?
She will. She's very willing to always help me and stuff. Luckily here we have a lot of people that'll do that, but even when we do have people, it's kind of fun sometimes to be in the gym with her or spend time.
Does she know enough basketball to offer advice, or?
She advice, I don't know, but she rattles off some good knowledge every once in a while. She'll come listen to practices and hear what the coaches are saying, and so she'll pick up that vocabulary and we'll talk about it. So it's pretty fun that way.
What has your off season been like when you look at this year compared to the last 2 years where you were on the mission trip?
Mm-hmm.
How much better of a player do you think you can be coming in now, because you're kind of into the routine of being a collegiate athlete?
Yeah, well, in basketball and what's required to be a good player and getting better is stacking days, is just coming in one day after another and stacking those. And when I was gone, I wasn't really able to do that. I wasn't able to be in there day in and day out getting better. And so that, I think, is the biggest difference. Is since coming home, I've been able to every single day put my mind and put my time into basketball and getting better as a player. And so and I think that showed as I got better throughout the season, right, and just stacking those days and being comfortable. And so it's really just adding on to that now, is adding on to what I'm building right now. And so that's why this off season has been huge for me and why I'm really excited to be here in the summer with these guys getting better every day.
I know it's early, but just talk about practice so far with this new group of guys.
Yeah, well, our first official day was today. We didn't have the whole team together. We were split up into groups, but we have been here on campus for a good little bit and playing pickup, playing a lot of pickup and spending a lot of time together has been great, and I've loved all these guys coming in. I feel like we've clicked very well as a team, and we've spent a lot of time together. It hasn't felt forced at all. Sometimes when you get new guys, it feels like you're kind of forcing. You have to get to know each other and get close as a team, but it hasn't really felt that way so far. I think everybody's been meshing and has enjoyed our time around each other.
Last week, Otega and Garrison said there was personalities on the team was a little goofier than last season. Are you seeing that so far?
We have some younger personalities. What I would say is, we got some goofy guys, some guys that like to mess around, and that's always fun to have around. Is guys that are it's big having joy in the gym when you're playing, and that's a huge thing in finding success and finding a way to get better is having joy. And so it's been fun. There's guys that bring a lot of joy, I would say. So yeah.
When you look at last year, was there a moment when it finally you acclimated yourself to the speed, the style, everything that you had missed the previous couple of seasons?
Yeah, well, a tough thing is coming from playing high school basketball to coming and playing at Kentucky and the SEC is a big jump, and then adding not playing for 2 years is another big jump. So I'm honestly not totally sure what challenges come from which, of just coming from high school, being a freshman, and also not playing. And so I was faced with a lot of those challenges, and I don't know if there's a single day that I can pinpoint that that I like feel like I figured out per se something, but it was just a matter of stacking days and getting better every single day, especially in practice. Practice is where I got, because there was times in the season where I wasn't playing at all. I wasn't getting better in the game, at least physically. I was able to watch and learn, but practice are kind of the behind the scenes that nobody sees, picking up things and getting better. So there was a lot of that this season.
Collin, you had some late outbursts playing this season, and you talked about your confidence a lot. So how motivated have you been going into the offseason, getting a glimpse of what you're capable of?
Yeah, well, the end of last season I think was big for me as a player, for coaches, for BBN to kind of I don't want to say prove, but show that I can play, I can compete here, and so that was huge for my confidence, because as a player, I mean, as everyone can imagine, it's mentally draining sometimes, and you go through ups and downs. And, I'm the greatest player ever one day, and then next day I'm the worst player ever, and I shouldn't be here, right? So no, it's big to know that I can compete and play, and so that's been huge for me and my confidence. And so I'm coming to Lexington a very confident player.
You're now kind of a veteran of this team. What are you teaching the new guys about Mark Pope and the system here?
Yeah, I mean, we have our first conditioning test tomorrow. So that's been the hot topic of the running and conditioning. That's been a big emphasis for our team right now, and we've been telling them it's not something we messed around. we're not messing around with it, and our one rule as a team is be on time. And so we had one incident last year where we weren't on time. One time we paid for that by running. So we're doing similar running tomorrow for our conditioning test. And so we've been, at least the first week, we're just emphasizing kind of the base rules right now of be on time, be punctual, and so that's been huge. But as we go into our first practices with coach, we're gonna be learning a whole lot of stuff. Our offense, the nuances, the different reads that we do. So I think we'll have a lot of time to step in and help and be examples.
Well, last year the offense was awesome in a lot of moments. The defense, it took a long time and was spotty. How do you preach defense to kids, high school kids that have the world by the tail right now and don't understand the intensity and the effort it's going to take?
Yeah, I think coming into college, it's kind of what everyone's preaching is you got to be able to guard, to be able to play, right? And so I think they know in their minds, but I think just also playing this last week has been great, playing pickup and kind of showing the intensity that there is, and it's tough, physical, and so I think they know what to expect, and know it's going to be tough adjusting. There's a physical aspect that we have to adjust to, and so I think they see that coming. They just might not know exactly how it's going to be yet. Sorry, I got to sneeze.
So if you don't crush the conditioning tomorrow, the guys are going to wear you out on being old married man, soft, stuff like that's coming.
Yeah, well, we were told about the conditioning test at the beginning of summer, so I've been a little bit paranoid about. I get a little bit paranoid about that stuff. So I've been on my game conditioning wise coming in. So and that comes with being there, trying to be an example for people. I can't tell people to get in shape if I'm not in shape myself. So that's been a big emphasis for me.
Taking it back a little bit, in the time of the transfer portal, everyone's announcing whether they're staying or going. I believe you just tweeted, like, I'm not leaving. So just, was there ever a moment where you were thinking, let me look at it, or was it always just Kentucky's the next?
Well, I think there's a lot of different aspects to the game of basketball right now, and I've always been taught loyalty from my dad, but you're also taught to do what's best for you and your career. And so I was very prayerful about what I'm always thinking about what is God's plan for me, what's the bigger plan for me. And I loved my time here in Kentucky and through lots of prayer, and because you have to figure out what's best for you in your life and where you're supposed to be for purposes maybe greater than basketball. I believe there's purposes for for being here that's greater than basketball. But I feel and I know that I'm supposed to be here. So that was I was pretty sure about that in the off season. So yeah.
Was there
Last
ever,
year in preseason, this team was kind of a question mark, and now you guys are coming off an appearance in the Sweet 16. How is the mindset different just heading into the season and the preseason this year?
Yeah, well, I think we talk. I mean, oftentimes you talk a lot about like what happened last year, what worked last year, and I think it was great for our experience. I mean, we have a few guys that played a lot last year coming back, but there's also, I think we got a huge understanding of what we needed to better this year. And so, and also bringing someone in like Denzel, who is coming off a national championship. I mean, he knows obviously what worked, what was good for their team, and so I think that will be huge. Is leaning on that and also leaning on what we need to get better at. And I know the coaches are spending a lot of time figuring that out. So.
was there a point last year where you felt like the rust was completely gone?
I don't feel like I don't have like an exact moment in my mind or an exact time of when I felt like it came off, but it's just been a big emphasis for me is getting better every day, is becoming a better player every day. And so I felt like there's a lot that BBN didn't see in my journey of getting back, feeling comfortable, feeling confident. So there's a lot that went into that, but so I don't know if there's like an exact time of where I felt like, ooh, I'm playing to where I want to be right now. Because there's always more to improve on, and honestly, I feel like it's too far distant to remember how I really felt when I was in high school playing. So I don't know. Like I get questions all the time of, do you feel like you're back into your high school form, or do you feel like you're playing as good as you were in high school? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm sure that I'm a whole lot better in a lot of aspects than I was, and I might be different in other aspects. And so I don't know how to really distinguish that.
You know, we talk a lot about how players get better, but can you speak to how you've watched Mark Pope grow in his role?
Yeah, well, one thing I'll say about Coach Pope is he's very humble to learning. He is not very prideful in his ways, and I think he knows that there's always ways to get better, and he's always wanting to learn. I think, and just from observing him, he's taking a lot from his assistant coaches. He's always talking about things that they bring up, things that they're teaching him as well, and so he has, I think, the same hunger as us to get better every day, to learn from the people around him, and so that's one thing I've noticed about Coach Pope is he's very willing to change.
I don't mean to sound kind of weird, but how does being married make you a better player, maybe a better teammate, you think?
Well, I'm sure there's many things that I'll find out as the more time goes on, but what I will say is basketball, a lot of it is mental. There's a lot of mental aspects to the game and in your performance, and being around Hannah helps me a lot with that in kind of understanding what the focus of my life should be, and staying grounded, and she helps me understand, because sometimes my life is basketball, right? And if I'm not playing well, I'm not feeling joy, or if I'm playing well, I'm feeling over the moon. And she helps me to where the way that I'm playing doesn't dictate the amount of joy that I'm feeling in my life. And so I do know that makes me a better person, but also my mental state better as a basketball player.
So she holds you accountable.
For sure. She's great at that.
It also sounds like something I could hear your coach talking about and preaching, that balance.
For sure, there is a balance, and there's like so many. We always talk about distractions. So many things that can take you away from your goals and what you want to do, and distract you. But I think we're always trying to stay focused and minimize the distractions towards our goal as a team.
Talking about basketball being mostly mental, where are you now mentally compared to like this day last year, your first day of practice, when you weren't ramped up totally and didn't
Yeah.
really know what to expect from?
I feel like I know my environment a little bit better. Is I was coming in a little bit blind last year of what to expect from just coming home as a missionary. Is kind of a whirlwind of life changing, as well as playing basketball for the first time, and then also playing basketball at an extremely high level. I didn't really know what to expect, how to go about it. Whereas I feel like this year, off season, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be working on. I know what I can do. I have a lot of experience on the court for what I can do and things I can get better at. And so I think I have a lot better of a vision of what I need to do. I think that's the biggest difference.
How's your wife handling your playing? Like maybe you get fouled too hard or something.
No,
Nothing like that?
I don't think she worries too much about it. My mom, on the other hand, is different. She's sometimes a wreck in the games. Like sometimes I'll at least when I was in high school, I'd look up, try to find her. She was like pacing the stadium or in the bathroom because she couldn't watch. Hannah's she's much more calm, I would say, but no, she handles it very well.
Came in on the back end of an answer there, but was there a point last year where you were like maybe trying to get to the point where you were in high school or where you thought that line was, and then you switched it to like that I'm going to be a different player,
right?
So I need to get to that.
I think that was the biggest thing, is there was a mental change of trying to get back to where I want to be, but also I don't want to be the same player that I was, because there's a lot of things that I would need to change if I was coming from high school to playing here. There's a lot of things that I needed to change, and so I kind of took it as why not just change right now to what I'm supposed to be, what I need to be to play here, rather than looking backward, if that makes sense.
You got to compete against Mo Diabate 3 times last season. What makes you most glad that he's on your side now?
Mo's awesome. He is he's kind of a jack of all trades, I would say, to describe him. He's obviously very physical. He's very physically gifted, and so that comes in handy on defense, but also he can enforce his will on offense. And he's also a very good shooter. He shot a very good percent. I don't think he shot a big volume of shots last year, but he's a very good shooter, actually, which makes him very dangerous, and is going to make him a big asset to our team.
You all played against Denzel as well last year. Just what have you seen from him so far, and do you remember that game at all? And maybe what do you think he'll bring to this year's team?
Yeah, I mean, Denzel, I remember his role at Florida. He was coming off the bench and providing those very impactful minutes for Florida, and he's a very good scorer, and he's also a very good shooter. He shoots the ball really well. He has the ball on the string, which makes him very dangerous as a guard and as a ball handler. And so that's going to be very valuable to us as well. And no matter, I don't know exactly the role that Denzel is going to play, but I know he can contribute in so many different facets. So
you guys obviously improved as last season went on, but do you believe in what you've seen kind of early on so far? You guys are going to be better defensively than you were last season?
I mean, we're always striving to get better defensively, and there's a lot to learn and a lot to. I mean, I think a lot of defense relies on how connected we are as a team, and relying on each other and being comfortable with each other and making reads and switches and things like that. So there's a lot that plays into it, but we have the tools, we have the guys that I think we need to be very successful as a team.
You mentioned earlier coming into the situation a little bit blind. Was there something that caught you by surprise, or something that you learned that was your biggest takeaway from the freshman season?
I mean, there's so many. To be honest, it's like it almost seemed like everything was a surprise and was a challenge. And so, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things. Like ball handling was one that is still a focus for me right now. Is becoming an even more confident ball handler. shooting at full speed with guys around you, contested shots and things like that. Playing off 2 feet was a big thing. I'm used to playing off of 1 foot a lot, off balance, kind of shooting hope shots. But that was a big thing that I learned and developed, was playing off 2 feet, making repeatable plays. Those were all, I think, a good example of things that were things that I need to get better at, and were emphasis points last year.
Heard Coach Pope. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Pope's talked a lot about that playing off 2 feet. Just how hard is that to actually, adapt to that? I'm sure it takes some time to actually get to that point where you're confident and comfortable doing that.
It does, for sure. It takes time, and it also takes experience in playing off 2 feet and pivoting, because when you pick up the ball and playing off 2 feet, and sometimes nobody's open, and it feels so uncomfortable with the ball, you just want to get rid of it, right? And it's almost like an awkward play, but a winning play is nobody's open. Okay, I'll pass it over almost to half court to get it to our guy to set it up again. That's actually a win for our team, even though looking in, it's like, oh wow, he went in and he failed and he didn't get a bucket, didn't get an assist, he was just lost down there. But that's actually not the case. Is we went to try to find a play and nothing worked, so we're going to live to fight another day and go again. It's actually a win, and so that's a big thing that guys face and that we're still facing is being comfortable being uncomfortable down there, and so that is a big thing to continue to get better at, and a lot of guys in the league are very good at that, and that's a NBA skill.
Why can high school kids get away with playing on 1 foot?
Say it again.
Why can the high school kids get away with playing on 1 foot?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really have anybody teaching me playing off 2 feet. I was, also in high school, you're more athletic than a lot of the guys playing, so you're able to jump off 1 foot and get higher than everybody and be able to finish and be creative. And so I think that's also a big thing, is you're able to kind of get away with it a little bit in high school, but not as able to get away with it here.
You get a lot of new faces to learn, new relationships to get going. But is it comforting to a certain extent to have Otega, Brandon, Trent back for another run with you?
Of course, those are your brothers. Those are who you rely on when you're on the court. It's not a one-on-one game. It's not a 1-on-5 game, right? It's always comforting having your brothers there with you, fighting for you, and so having those guys who I know will go to bat for us and who I know will give it their all is very comforting.
Do you guys spend more time talking about what happened last year or what you're going to do this season?
No, there's a few things that, especially right now with what we're changing, right? You talk about what we did, but mostly the focus is not on what we were doing, but what we're wanting to do, what we're focused on, the things we need to continue to chase to be better. So I would say that's the better way to put it, is what we're focused on, what we're doing and where we're going.
Well, to piggyback off of that, is it more? Do you anticipate? Is the feeling stronger for what you're going to do, or what was disappointing about the end of last season?
Well, I think that's the whole point of sports is, and the whole mental aspect of it is you can't focus on the past and what happened, even if that's a win. You can't get too excited because you won something last year, right? You have to be focused on, because nobody cares what you did last year if you're not performing this year, right? So we're focused on what we're doing.
What are you changing this season that maybe you didn't do last season?
I don't think we're deep enough yet to have very many aspects, but there is something today where we were in practice, and some guys were like running around, and guys put their hands on their knees, and we're like, no, we're not doing that this year. We're not putting our hands on our knees. So that's one thing. It's like we're gonna get tougher in that way. So that's just one thing that I've noticed so far, which I'm sure there's a lot of things that the coaches are wanting to do different or get better at.
How much have you seen Trent grow over the past year, and what are your expectations for him this season?
I think the expectations for Trent are very high, because of his skill set. And like I said, you can't really look back on last year. I mean, you can look at what he's done, the potential he shows, but he's going to be a completely different player, a better player. He's had months to work on his game, and I think everyone in Kentucky knows what Trent is capable of. And so I think he's just going to continue to get better, and he's always exciting to watch. Even if like there were times where me and him weren't playing in games, like there's a lot of things behind the scene that people don't see, the spurts that he shows, and so he's obviously an exciting player.
What was the team's reaction to Travis deciding not to come back?
Yeah, well, it's always sad losing your brother. Not losing your brother, but not being with him every day, and so it was really sad because we are so close. But it's like I said earlier, it's like there's people's lives. I feel like God has a plan for people, and that's what he felt like he needed to do for him and his life, which we all have to respect. But it's just going to be sad when we have to beat up on him when we play him in SEC play.
Will you and Trent continue the sophomore cup? Is that what you were calling it? Or will you have somebody new? Or will you?
We are 1-1 right now this year. We've played twice, just me and him. So yeah, it's all tied up at the moment. Maybe don't check. Check back in. We'll see how it's going. If it starts getting too out of hand, we'll stop announcing the scores. But
if I cross a personal line, tell me shut up, son, my business. But I can see a college player, you're at this level, you can say, I'm going to wait till after I'm done playing college before I get married. But you chose not to.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their, I think they're maybe not priorities, but their goals in life and things that are important to them. And Hannah's been very important to me for a long time, and someone who has played a huge role in my life. I almost don't really remember my life without her. So that's someone that I've wanted to keep close and know that I want to have around with me and start a family with, and that's a big priority in my life. And all guys are different, and so I've had a lot of conversation with guys. It's kind of like maybe weird to them, a guy that's 21 getting married, but a lot of guys respect it, and I think a lot of guys also prioritize family on the team, and so they've been very respectful, and yeah, it's been cool.
You talked about her holding you accountable. Did she send you like a list of, hey, make sure to pick up the groceries after you just anything like that?
No, not yet. We didn't. We just have moved into our new place, so there's been a lot to do outside of practice, and she's been great at.
Are you a DIY guy? Are you up there like hammering stuff?
I have not yet. I'll probably need to at some point. We'll see. I might have some stories. I did it for our wedding. I got a gift of like a basket of like some drills and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll mess around with that a little bit. But no, it's been good. We've been working hard to get settled. So
yeah, you got to set up an NIL deal with the renovation company.
Yeah, maybe if I can't do it myself, we'll see.
Collin Craftsman Chandler.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. It could be a new nickname. Who knows?
Good guy.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.